It wasn't until 1965 when the Speedmaster was space qualified by NASA, which came about in a completely unrelated manner to wear his personal Omega. Nevertheless, it undoubtedly served as a vote of confidence for the watch's capability in space as further generations of the Speedmaster came to follow, including the 105.012 worn by Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, and eventually was worn on the moon's surface. The CK2998 had some distinctive characteristics that made it easier to differentiate from other Speedies, including alpha hands, a flat length bracelet, unguarded pushers, straight lugs, and a 39.7mm case. The first Omega in space was revived to a greater degree in 2012, with a strap reference version powered by the 1861 caliber and some additional special editions that also were unveiled around the same period. This 2012 release was eventually discontinued in 2020, leaving a 4-year wait until it was revisited in October of 2024. And before we dig into this review, I just want to thank 2 of our customers. They actually loaned us their personal watches that we sold to them because we were not able to cover these watches in any other way. So they were nice enough for us to be able to spend some extended period of time with them to shoot them, so I can spend more time with it, so I can give you guys a full rundown of what to expect. So big thanks to Michael and Matthew for letting us do this. Now, as much as there are plenty of new details, the case remains very much unchanged since the original, measuring at 39.7mm in diameter, being 13.4mm thick, and having a lug-to-lug of 47.8mm with my calipers. Since this watch was reintroduced, there's been this segment of popular opinion that this is the Speedmaster of choice for smaller wrists. That said, it is not quite that simple. In fact, this watch with its straight lugs has a longer case than the professional Moonwatch, which has a lug-to-lug of only 47mm. Adding more complexity to the discussion is if you measure from one side of the aluminum insert tachometer scale with its dot over 90 to the other, it is roughly the same diameter as the Moonwatch at 39.5mm. The most notable area that makes these watches appear different on the wrist is going to be the pushers and the crown, with the case sides of the FOIS having no added protection from the extending case, leaving its protrusions more freely exposed. The bracelet is a subject that is worth discussing for a couple of reasons. One for its style and the other for its sheer inclusion. The previous 2010s version of the FOIS was only available on a strap. And while leather strap options are available for this current generation, they're $400 less, this is a welcome option that provides a key distinction from the Moonwatch. Looking at the top of the case, which is predominantly the lugs, it's in high polish where it meets the flat link bracelet spreading out horizontally over 3 separate links. The outer links match the high polish, while the center link is vertically brushed like the case sides. The lug width is 19mm, tapering down aggressively to 14.5mm once it meets the clasp. The milled clasp is of a retro styling with polished outer portions that meet a central step that displays brushing and the throwback Omega logo. There are 3 total buttons in the clasp. 2 are going to operate as a pair for the unlocking duties, and the other is going to be hidden underneath, which when pressed can operate the on-the-fly adjustment, allowing for around 3mm of adjustment without the need for tools. In terms of comfort, this is a phenomenal bracelet, with small links that effortlessly drape down the wrist to make it wear true to the lug-to-lug measurement. For owners of the former generation of the first Omega in space, you might be asking, can this bracelet fit the other models? The answer appears to be no, since the spring bar position has been modified, so despite the width being the same, it won't appear seamless when locked into place.